Hi, I never thought I'll say this, but I have depression, and I found out about it during a pandemic. Before I found out I had depression, I was never a gamer. Honestly, I don't think I'll ever have that title to my name. But I've always played The Sims 1, 3, and 4. I don't know why I skipped over 2. Honestly, I think I did play 2, but I don't remember. So why is that a point? Because I found out that I have depression right around the time that I started playing L4d2 2. If you didn't know what L4d2 is, it's a first-person shooting game. And this is an actual clip of me playing. You can actually find this entire video on my gaming channel. It's not really something that I do seriously. It's just for fun. But you can check it out. The link is in the description. The channel is called Seemingly Mel.
We're going in here?
I guess.
You're already inside. Boomer.
I found out I had depression, well, sort of. I felt like I had depression right around the time that I started playing L4d2. And according to the DOS test that I took, I have severe depression. So that was not good. That was a few months ago in July 2020, obviously, and almost immediately after that I sent out my application for a diagnosis with a mental health professional. I've been properly diagnosed since, and thank God it's now gone down to moderate level. In my assessment report back then, I think it was around August when I did the assessment, it stated that I had moderate major depression, and honestly, I'm okay with that information. It was a relief to learn about it. I want to dive in a little bit about my depression and about how playing L4d2 somewhat became my coping mechanism. I know that gaming is a coping mechanism for a lot of folks when it comes to their mental health, but I simply want to expand on my personal experience and add to that conversation. Back when I had a more severe level of depression, I had zero interest in everything else in my life, including The Sims 4, which I was always playing every time I go through a major burnout. What it felt to me at that time, my brain was foggy. I had insomnia almost every night. I was zoning out quite a lot and was always forgetful. I cried a lot, and I also just wanted to stay in bed. So I had no energy to do anything. The whole month of June was just really stressful for me. We also had just finished 2 bathroom renovations back to back, and so that was also really getting to me, though. All the dust and all the cleaning and all the noise, it's just Came July, I felt my lowest and decided to work from home that one day. At this point, most of us had gone back to the office. I also took my very first DASS test, DASS. This is what it means. One day, my friends came to hang out in my place, and they all decided that they wanted to play L4d at that time. I think they haven't played L4d in so long up to that point, and so I had a little taste, but it felt too overwhelming, and then I just kind of retreated back to my position as a spectator. I just shooting stuff, I can't. But soon after, the game continued to intrigue me, so I started playing a little bit more with my husband, who I will dub an all-around gamer. And at the point of this recording, he's actually playing a game right now. Long story short, I clocked in 200 hours in under 2 months because I was playing in every free time that I had, and I also got myself 40 out of 70 achievements. It was a really good feeling to have done that. I no longer play it as a coping mechanism. It's just a fun hobby for me right now. I just decided, I feel like playing, I want to shoot some zombies today, so I would just go ahead and do it. It's not really like, I feel depressed, I want to play. no longer like that for me anymore. So playing Left 4 Dead 2 forced me to think of creative ways to survive in a zombie apocalypse. It also distracted me a little bit from my depression, obviously, and gave me a sense of purpose with the achievements that I got. And also, every time I finish a campaign, it always made me feel like I accomplished something, you know. And every time I try a new map, a new campaign, I'm forcing myself to rewire my anxiety, right? So it kind of made me feel brave, worry less, and just go in and just shoot. And obviously, thanks to my friends, I was playing with them, socializing with them, and effectively improve my mood altogether and not make me stay in bed all day. Since learning that I have depression, I felt so relieved because it means that I can finally come to terms with it. I didn't have to wonder anymore, and I also now understand why playing certain games can help me to cope. I have games on my phone, but they're mostly just there to help me kill time, so they don't really add much to my well-being. I've learned to look at gaming in a different light from then on. On another note, I also for the longest time wanted to start my own conversation about mental health, but I just didn't know how. I felt like I was least qualified. I felt like I have to go through some form of mental health issues to talk about it, but I'm not trying to ask for depression. But now that I have, and now that I know that I have depression, I'm hoping that I could come up with, valuable information or tips such as gaming to overcome certain aspects of one's mental health. In this case, gaming works for me. It helped me in the beginning stages of, working with knowing that I have depression. And you know what? My assessment is a form of validation in many ways. In Asian culture, especially, mental health is not something that we often bring up in our conversations. We do now in my generation, among my friends and my peers. Going to therapy is almost unheard of, let alone taking prescribed medications for your mental health. So to have these words in front of me saying that I have depression, at the very least, I can help others to feel okay to get diagnosed. In fact, I did sort of help one friend when I posted on my Insta story that I have depression. That friend reached out to me and asked me how did I get my diagnosis, and right now she's on psychotherapy, which is awesome. I can't go to psychotherapy because I can't afford it, but I'm gonna continue looking for ways to manage. At the very least, acceptance for me is one of the kindest thing that you can do for yourself, in my humble opinion. So where do I go from here? Well, here's a list of things that I have given myself, which I think is best for my well-being. The first one is to do devotion. I try my best to do it every day. It helps me to keep me grounded and to help me to continue, thinking about what would Christ do if he was in a modern era? What would he do, if he was in this situation? And that kind of thought process really helps me to just put things into better perspective on how I can manage my depression. The second thing would be practicing gratitude. I don't think we do that enough. Just being able to think about how grateful I am about having all these things in my life really helped me to improve my mood and to help me to put things into perspective. That's essentially what depression is. Sometimes it forces you to think like there's nothing to look forward to in life. So being able to practice gratitude just kind of stop you from thinking about all these negative things and really help you to think, oh, you know what? It's not a great day, but it's not a bad life. The third thing that I've been trying to do is to continue looking for the misalignments in my life. One of the things that really affected me the most in my early days as an adult, a full-on adult, is having relationships that don't align with my values. And I'm the kind of person that would always tell myself to suck it up, just be nice and tolerate these people's bad behavior. But oftentimes Tolerating means you're allowing them, you're giving them permission to continue doing all those, horrible things to you. And the emotional distress that comes from this relationships is really not worth it. And I've held on to them for so long just because I wanted to be a good sport. I didn't know how to say no or walk away. So right now I know, and I'm learning to tell myself that it's not worth it for me anymore. So, I'm just gonna keep looking for the misalignments, because a lot of the times I'm like, this is fine, but really it's not. The fourth thing is to journal as often as I can. This is also something that I don't do as much as I should, but I always try to pair this with my devotion. So once I'm done with my devotion, I will then move on with my morning pages. I have a separate book just for journaling, and this helps me to remember the things that I'm feeling at that time. Depression can make you be really forgetful. I didn't know about that until I started reading more about depression. So it's good to know, it's good to have this data, I guess, the things that you've written down on hand, to look back and to remember the things that you were going through, the things that you were thinking about, your worries and everything. It also helps you to brain dump and just vomit out all of these negative emotions that you might have, and then after that you kind of feel okay afterwards. So it's a really good practice to be able to get all of this information overload out of your brain. I think we should all do that, especially people in this era should do that a lot more. With our devices, we get fed with a lot of information, and we don't have time, or we don't have enough time to filter them out or to dump them out so that we can have space for something more meaningful. Because I'm not in psychotherapy yet, because I can't afford it, even just brain dumping helps. So I'm gonna try my best to keep up with journaling. And obviously, last but not least, seeing my friends or gaming with them if we can all be in the same place at the same time. I've learned that more human interactions really have proven to help with my well-being. So I'm gonna keep up with it. It doesn't always have to be gaming. Sometimes when we just be on Discord or on Zoom or on Messenger video and we just talk about things, that, oh my god, that helps a lot. Well, it's December 19th and it's well over 5 months since I took my first DAS test. Generally, I am doing much better than I did in July. I feel so much better as well. I've learned to accept my low days. For example, last week I was just down. The whole weekend I could not do anything. I stayed in bed most of the time. I felt like I was sick. I don't think I was sick, but sometimes depression can manifest in physical health. While I could not do anything last weekend, this weekend, however, I had a different shift of energy. I feel so much better. Yesterday, I did a lot of chores. Today, I'm recording this video. So obviously, there's some days that I have low days. There's some days I'm gonna have high days. The difference is that now I'm kinder to myself when I'm accepting my low days. I try my best to not tell myself that I'm guilty of not doing anything. It's okay to do nothing. Sometimes you need to take back those doing nothing time because you've been doing so much and you haven't had a break or you haven't had time for yourself. One of the things that I'm rewiring right now is to tell myself that it's okay. You gotta be kind to yourself and don't feel guilty about resting. Because sometimes the hustle culture really get you to feel that way, and I don't want to feel that way. I don't think that's fair at all. So for 2021, I'm going to actively realign my thoughts with my feelings towards the best version of me, if that makes sense. I'm going to find more positive ways to cope with my depression and learn to enjoy life better by worrying less. I got a book to help me get started on that. And to conclude this video, my main takeaway is to be kinder to yourself, as I'm also trying to be kinder to myself. This has been one long video talking about depression and gaming and how I cope and where I am right now. But I hope it's helped you, and I hope this is a good topic to add to the conversation of mental health. Until my next video, Bye!